hello everybody. This is the Jeff Cowan coming to you from thejeffcowan.com. I don't know if you've been to my site yet, thejeffcowan.com, but you need to get there now and see what kind of training opportunities I have for you, because there are many there that will help you become the absolute best salesperson you can be, professional salesperson. Hey, welcome back to my weekly podcast called Success in Professional Sales and Success in Life in General. I've got a great program for you here today. A lot of you have been writing in. I mean, our audience is growing just so quickly. It's really, really exciting to me. And I've been getting a lot of emails, I've been getting a lot of texts from you asking a lot of different questions. And one of the big questions that keeps coming up is, Jeff, I think I'm a good salesperson, but I think I'm pretty decent at presenting my product. I know my product. I'm enthusiastic about my product, but I just can't get the close. And some of you say you can't even get to the close. So let's address that. You know, I got to tell you up front, you know, without sitting there or standing there with you side by side as you're making a presentation and going through what it is you do, it's hard for me to critique exactly what may be your concern. But over the years, I can tell you, having worked with hundreds, if not by this time, thousands of different salespeople side by side, and heard and seen and been part of thousands and thousands of presentations, one of the biggest mistakes I see people make on a routine basis is that they jump in and they jump to what they believe is going to be the biggest objection first, and they focus on that. For example, it's not uncommon if you're in car sales for people right out of the gate, car sales people that is, to immediately start talking about price and payment, because they know most of the time that's what it's going to get down to, is price, payment, down payment. So they jump right to that. They don't take test drives. They really don't present their product. They never really find out what the customer likes and the like, and they never get the opportunity to close. And if they do, it doesn't mean anything. I've seen the same thing happen in furniture. I've seen it happen in jet sales, believe it or not. I've seen it happen in clothing sales and chemical sales and medical sales, all kinds of stuff, you know. So whatever that big objection is, they tend to want to jump to that and handle that because they feel like if they do, everything's going to be good. But if you're not closing your fair share of sales, and you're not hitting your quotas, or you're not even getting to the close, as many of you have said that you're not, here's 6 steps that you can follow that will help you to get to the close, and not only get to the close, but close the sale way many more times than not. So I've got 6 steps here. Let's take a look at step number 1. First and foremost, you got to get to know the customer. You got to get to know who you're presenting to. And what I'm talking about here is building rapport. Now, if you've never seen my training, a lot of people believe my training is based on closing and making presentations and handling customers' expectations of that. And I talk about all that type of stuff, and it is all really important. But probably one of the strongest parts, so there's probably 2, one of the strongest parts of my training is the stuff that I've written and presented on building rapport. I mean, many people tell me that. You have to build rapport with your people. Now, a lot of times, you won't have time to do any pre-work, meaning you might be meeting the person for the very first time right here, right now on the spot, and you have to question and kind of dance around a little bit and build rapport as you go. And that's great because there's a way to do that, and in my training I can show you how to do that. But if time permits and you know you're going to make a presentation, if you got some time before you make the presentation, meet the person, find out all you can about them. Find out how many kids they have, if they're married. Find out if they're into boating, if they're into travel, if they're into whatever it is they're into. Try to find out little tidbits of information that they are interested in so that you can build rapport with them. Because when you build rapport with them, it makes them feel like that you are just like them. For example, if they are a golfer and you step up and you start asking them about their golf game, whether you golf or not, okay, it makes them sound like more comfortable with you because you're talking their language. And that's one of the big misnomers about building rapport. Well, Jeff, I don't know anything about golfing. Jeff, I don't know anything about travel. I've not been anywhere. Jeff, I don't know anything about... Well, if you listen to the way I teach how to build rapport, you don't have to know anything about anything. You just have to be smart enough to ask questions about the person based on badges they have. This is a whole other podcast, by the way, and just talk about those. And that's the thing. Talk about them. Build rapport. Get to know the person. The more they feel comfortable with you, the more likely they are to want to be listening to you and accept it when you ask them to buy the sale. And the more comfortable they're going to be. Number 2, listen to them. All right, this is a big mistake. Okay? You have to hear what their true desire is if you want to be able to deliver the desire. Now, so many times I see salespeople get into their presentation, they'll shake somebody's hand, they start talking to them, and bam, they're right into the presentation, and they never really ask what the customer is interested in. They never ask why the customer is interested in. They never ask what the customer is going to do with the product, what the purpose is, this person, your customer, talking to you, what is they're trying to accomplish. Now, even though 99 out of 100 times, let's say you got one of those products, and 99 out of 100 times, you know that they're going to want the product for the same reason, you have to let them state that. It is not their reason to buy if they don't give their reason to buy. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if they don't say it, it doesn't mean anything, so listen. Now, and when I say listen, you have to do number 3 as well. You have to look at them. Now, this is one of the things that's really missing in sales, especially with newer salespeople and younger salespeople, because with the advent of the cell phone, Apple Watches, and all the technology, everybody, and from all walks of life, but especially the younger generations, and this happens with some of the older ones, because I have to watch myself with this too, is we're just so used to looking at our phones, looking at our phones, looking at our phones. If our watches go off, we have to look at that. If it vibrates, it means somebody's trying to get a hold of me. My suggestion is to you is to leave your phones off. Leave them out of sight if you can. Leave them in your car. If you think you might need them for contacts or something, at least turn them off and put them in your briefcase out of sight so you can't see when they're going off. You can't hear them. You can't feel them vibrating, that thing. Same thing with Apple Watches. Nothing will lose a sale quicker than if you're talking to somebody and they're giving you information and you're trying to listen to them and you keep looking at your watch or you keep looking down at your phone. That will tell them that you're truly not interested in them. You're truly not interested in presenting to them. You're truly not interested in solving their problems, and they will quickly start to discard you as somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. So you have to look at them. Okay, you have to look at them. Now, it is okay, and I strongly encourage you to write as they talk, because the more you write as they talk, the more they will talk. Now, if you want to use an iPad in this example, or you want to use your computer, have it out and type as they're talking, it's the same thing as writing, but if you type or you write as they're talking, they typically will talk more because in their mind you feel that they're more interesting, so they will give you more information. But when it comes to phones and watches and all those things that signal you that people are trying to get a hold of you, get them out of your sight. There's no need for them right there. So the first 3, number 1 was to get to know them, build rapport, talk about what their interests are, get them comfortable with you, show them that you're just like them and you have an interest in who they are as a person. Listen to them. You have to hear what their desire is for your product, and in order to deliver that desire, and then number 3, look at them as they're talking, and if possible, write as they're talking or type as they're talking. That's the first 3 of the 6, and before I get to the final 3, I want to talk to you about my sponsor. It's Lightspeed VT. They're out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I've told you that before. Lightspeed VT has a training platform. Managers, business owners. You have training that you've bought or you've created over the years, and you have no place to store it, or it's just kind of random. Lightspeed VT has a platform that they will decorate, make it look like it's all your stuff. Put your name on it, put your logos on it, everything else, and you can store all your training in there, whether it's audio or video or both, whether you wrote it or it's somebody else's. And on top of that, they will show you how to divide all this training up into little 5 to 10 minute segments, because that seems to be the attention span for people in their training these days. 5 to 10 minute segments, and then they will show you how to create testing for it. So now when your people watch and listen to your training, they can be tested on it. You can see the test scores, so now you know, did they really watch it? Did they really understand it? If so, how quickly did they understand it? If they didn't, what didn't they understand? So it will help you really determine what part of the training they need the most help with, which makes them better. Now you say, well, I'm not a business owner or manager. What can you do for me? Well, Lightspeed, if you're an individual, if you call them, they will set you up with your own platform. You can have your own Tom Smith training if you want, and they will line you up with any trainer, because all the trainers that matter in the world, internationally, nationally, and internationally, are on Lightspeed VT, and they even have niche trainers, meaning people that are specific to different industries. How do you get a hold of people at Lightspeed? It's real easy. You just dial 702-369-4260, 702-369-4260. Tell them the Jeff Cowan from thejeffcowan.com told you to call. You want to do that because they're going to give you a whole bunch of money off. Tell them I told you that too. All right, so people calling in telling us they can't get to the close, or they can't get the close done, whatever. and they don't feel they're getting their fair share of sales. So I have 6 steps for you. The first one was get to know your customer, build rapport, because the more you show that you care about them, the more they'll care about you, the more they'll loosen up and want to talk to you. Number 2, listen to them. You have to hear their desire. Even though it's the same thing everybody says, you have to hear their desire to deliver what they desire. Then number 3, look at them, because when you look at them, it makes them feel like you're really listening and you're interested. I strongly encourage you, remember, to write as they talk or type as they talk. I also encourage you to get your phones out of sight, your Apple Watches out of sight, anything that would be giving you texts and emails or be ringing, get it out of sight, turn it off, because any interruption like that will kill a sale. Now we've got the final 3. Number 4, laugh. Interject humor into your presentation, interject humor into the conversation, interject humor into what it is you're doing. When you get people laughing at you or with you, and you get people, it's a great way to get them excited because they're laughing, they're interested. That means they're comfortable, they're interested, and the like. So laughter. Now, this is one of the things I'm really strong at. I don't know if it comes across on the on these podcasts or not, but I get told all the time I'm really funny, and I believe I am. Not to pat myself on the back, because I work at being funny. Whenever I'm creating a presentation, I literally build humor into it. Now, the best humor to add into any presentation is self-depreciating humor, because salespeople have the reputation of being big egomaniacs, being know-it-alls, and being pretentious, all that stuff. So self-depreciating humor is the best. Build it into your presentation, your closes, your greetings, and the like. The more you get them to laugh, and the quicker you get them to laugh, the quicker the barriers come down, it breaks barriers, and the more likely you are to get to the close and get the sale. Number 5, show them in concise terms how you can deliver what they desire. So really work on your presentation. Once you get to know them and build rapport, once you listen to them and find out what it is they want, what it is they desire from your product, and you're looking at them so they're talking more and more, and you're getting them laughing, then show them based on what they said, because you just typed it up, on what they said, how you can deliver what they desire to them. Really important. It has to be concise, though. This is an area, again, where I think salespeople get so excited about their product, many times they talk way, way too much. If you can't explain what your product does and why it's valuable in less than 2 sentences, you probably are never going to be successful with it. And I'm not saying your presentation should only be 2 sentences, but I'm telling you, be concise. And then number 6, tell them, now that you've got to know them, built a rapport, you've listened to them, you looked at them, which proves you're listening to, you're hearing what they're saying, you're writing it down, or you're typing it, you're getting them to laugh, so they're comfortable with you, they're laughing now, and you've shown or told them in concise terms how you can deliver what they desire from your product. Tell them how to be successful with your product. And here's the biggest thing right here. This is the one thing I see almost every salesperson fail on, and that is tell them what they need. Tell them what parts of your product you need. Tell them how much of your product you need. Give them the plan, because if they knew the plan, if they knew what they wanted, they would have just come in, hand you a credit card and said, I want this, 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 and this, signed off on it, gone. But they didn't do that because they had questions about your product. So you get to know them, build rapport, listen, look at them as they're talking, writing down or typing so they know you're listening. Interject laughter into it. In concise terms, make a presentation, tell them how you can deliver their desire, and then tell them what the best plan is for them, because you're the expert. That's the reason they're there. They're talking to you. You're the expert. Tell them what they need to be successful with your product. Tell them what they need to experience the desires they have in talking about your product. Once you do that, the close should be as simple as just assuming it, writing it up, and taking the payment, however that is, or arranging the financing depending on what it is your product is. The closing is actually the easiest part. If you do these first 6 things, generally speaking, closing the sale is the easiest part to do. If you don't feel you're getting your fair share of closes, or you don't feel you're getting enough closes, or you're never getting to the point where you can close, I would take a look in the mirror, I would record myself during presentations, I would role play, and I'd make sure that I'm hitting every one of these 6 steps, because chances are you're probably not only missing just one of these, you're probably missing 3 of these steps. Best way to turn it around, these 6 steps here. Get to know them, build rapport, listen to them, look at them while you're listening to them so they know you're listening, write things down, type it as they're talking, but keep looking at them. Interject laughter, show them in concise terms how you can deliver what it is they desire, and then tell them the plan that they need to be the most successful with your product. It's really that simple. The close then becomes very, very easy. Very, very easy. So if you're having trouble, again, closing sales or getting to the close, those are the 6 steps. If you're having trouble getting there, you're missing probably 2 or 3 of these different steps. Hey, hope that helped you out this week. This is good information. It's information that I work with on my staff all the time. I work with myself all the time. Make sure I'm hitting all these notes before I go and make a presentation to anybody. You do the same thing and you will find yourself closing more sales just like that. It's really that easy. Sales is fun, sales is great, sales is going to deliver to you the type of lifestyle you want, especially if you're the most professional salesperson you can be. And if you keep coming back every Tuesday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time and listening to me, I promise you, I will make you the most successful professional salesperson on the planet. But you just got to have faith in me, and you got to go to thejeffcowan.com and look at my products and look at all the different ways that I can help you. Until next week, make it a great week, because as I always say, I'm going to. See you soon.